Alright, so here are these apps from mathlearningscenter.org. So if I just go to resources and then math apps, here's how I can access them right here. Now if I click right on here, I get a little bit more information about it, but I can open the web app right here. So I have all these open already, so we're just going to hop right in. So here's the first one with fractions. So I've done a couple problems right here where I've made some 12th blocks right here. We're doing 2 twelfths plus 3 twelfths. So you can see we have this right here. We have the 2 twelfths, 3 twelfths. So you can visually see, okay, I just move these down and that gives me 5 twelfths. So it helps with that adding, thinking that, all right, we're just adding the numerators right here. So we're visually seeing it. The bad thing is that you can't do multiple colors in one, so that's why I had to do it this way. I couldn't color these two green and leave these ones pink. Here's another one over here with these fraction circles right here. So I'm comparing 5 twelfths and 3 eighths. So I've made here's 3 eighths, here's 5 twelfths, and oops, let me just close out of the drawing tools. Well, if I want to compare them, I can actually kind of look right here and visually see which one is bigger. And so I can see that, yes, 5 twelfths is bigger. So I can just bring up my drawing right here and I could say 5 twelfths is greater than 3 eighths. So there's a variety of things that you could do with fractions. So if I'm making a new one, just tell it how many parts I want. Here's some quick ones. Otherwise I could say, like, if I wanted it in 27 parts, I could do that. Then I can just choose a color to fill in just different sections of it as well. So that's fractions right there. Here's a Geoboard. So I can make this different sizes, or I could make it into a circle right here, and I could give myself a grid or not. And if I give myself a grid, I can also put numbers on there. So a variety of different tools that we could use. I could choose to have this filled in or show. And with all of these, there's this little math tool right here. So I can just type in 12 plus 3 equals 5 and then done. And so instead of having to actually write out my answer, I could just use that as well. But for example, I might want students to figure out, okay, how do I find out the area of a formula? And I tell them to make some triangles like this. And so they might observe that this is 4 and this is 5. And so they'll know that this is 20. And then they might see that, oh, if I take this one and just move it over here, I have the exact same triangle. And so maybe they deduce that it is that we take half of that. Another one over on this one with finding the area, they might add in some different bands to show these different figures that they're dealing with right here, and then find the area of the different ones. So they might physically see, all right, how can I break this complex shape into simpler shapes? Here's math vocabulary. So if I click down here, I can choose what I want. If I want grades K through 2 or grades 3 through 5, I could uncheck all and I could see, all right, do I just want some stuff for geometry? And I could see, like, all right, which ones do I want? Obviously that's a lot, so I might just be focusing on these different types of angles right here. Maybe a couple of those I could click start right here. And I can choose if I want to see which ones that I hide. So maybe I want to have both of these shown and the definitions down here. So I'm practicing the definition and I can see it right here and go on to the next one. So here's money pieces. So I could do some things. I could drag out like these 1 cents right here. And so I've shown that 5 pennies is equal to a nickel, and that 2 nickels is equal to a dime. 5 nickels equals a quarter. 2 dimes and a nickel is a quarter. 4 quarters is a dollar. So now we're just seeing all those things that they're probably familiar with, especially at a younger age, with dealing with these base 10 blocks and things like that, so they can visually see the money and how much it represents. Here's one for number frames. So I'll just put out a number frame, and I could do, if I click right here, I could choose a variety of frames. I can make my own as well. I can choose different counters that I want in different colors. But on this one, I've just done to show that this top is 3 plus 2 equals 5. The whole thing is 6 plus 4, and that equals 10. And so I can figure out that 5 times 2 is 10. So here's an example of a number line, just thinking like, all right, 9 plus what gives me 24, and I was able to hide these numbers, but I could also show them as well. So that was just with this right here, I can have them hidden, and then if I needed to know or check my work, I could click on that. A lot of cool things here that I could see. Okay, this is 15. I can have it show how much. I could see that 9 plus 15 is 24. I can just drag these out as much as I want. Let's see some other things. I can add in my own little things on the number line. So if I wanted to say that I think this is 25, maybe that's my answer. So I put it right there. 9 plus 15 is 25. You can put it right there and check to see, oh, it's actually 24. Nice thing about this as well is that I could do this with fractions. I could do it with decimals. I could leave it with no numbers, no ticks, or I can also do it with negative numbers. So it's not just for lower levels, but it can work for a variety of grade levels. Here's number pieces, which is those base 10 blocks like I was showing you. Here's an example of the number rack. So I've just added some more on here to do some different problems. So I could use this at a lower level where we're looking at, okay, I have 5 right here plus 2, that's equal to 7. I could go into and say, well, I know on a rack there's 10 and I've taken away 3. I have 3 over here, so that equals 7. And I could see that, okay, this group of 7 plus this group of 3 is equal to 10. So I'm visually seeing those different math facts. I could take it a step further if I wanted to do like multiple layers or multiple rows right here. So I can see that, all right, I have 5 red, 4 blue, so I can say that's 5 plus 4 and just say that's equal 9. All right, I have 4 groups, so this is going to be 5 times 4 and 4 times 4, so 5 times 4 plus 4 times 4, that's going to be the same as 9 times 4, and I can work this out as a partial product. So being able to see a little bit visually how partial products work and how we might, if I know certain math facts, like if I know my 5s and my 4s and things like that, how can I figure out those bigger math facts? So we have visuals to help us learn things that we don't know yet. Here's the pattern blocks right here. So I've just chosen a silhouette and then figuring out some different shapes right here, and I can rotate them if needed. I can do some different things, like if I wanted to find out some angles, I could do that. So if I wanted to see, for example, what's the angle in this right here, I could see that it's 240. So different things like that, dealing with angles of the different shapes that you're using. And lastly, this one's in beta. It's still being tested out there, but a partial product finder. So as you teach your students a variety of ways to do math, this could be a good visual for understanding how multiplication actually works and seeing it as when you're doing 17 times 8, seeing it as, in this case, I would want it like this, seeing it as 7 times 8 plus 8 times 10. So it can be a way to teach those partial products and make that math a bit more visual.